Okay, so now we're going to go to the real life meaning of these three kinds of averages. So there's three kinds of average: mean, median, and mode. And the question is like, what do they really do? Well, let's look at this first example. Tables in the dining hall are numbered 1 through 12 for students who eat there. The principal calls out a number for the table who will go to the buffet line first. The other tables follow in order of the table numbers. One student is sure the principal calls certain tables more often. So, is the principal being unfair? That's the question. She keeps track of which numbers are called over a 21-day period. So the question is the principal being fair, or is he calling certain tables more often? Now they get to go first to lunch. So is he releasing certain tables, tables 1 through 12, more often? What kind of a calculation is she trying to make? Is she doing a mean, a median, or a mode? Well, it's going to be mode on that one, because mode is the value that occurs most often, meaning highest frequency. So that's what mode is. It's the value that occurs most often with the highest frequency. It's a kind of average. These are three types of averages, and they are used in real life society. And so it's valuable for you to understand how they're all three kinds of averages and why we use them. Okay, so first off, why would we use mode? So does everybody see that's what she would be interested in, because she wants to see more often, frequency occurs the most often. So she's interested in the mode. Why would that be an average? What if I said to you guys, hey, what's the average number of kids per family in the United States? What do you guys think? What if I said, what's the average number of kids per family in the United States? Like, how many kids does the average family have? Maybe 2 kids, maybe 3 kids. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4. I don't think so. Probably 2 or 3, right? Notice we would never say 2.1796, because you can't have part of a kid, right? That makes no sense, because I've got 2.179 kids. One of them, I've just got part of the kid. That can't be. You would never do an average number of kids that way. You would just do 2 or 3. In other words, what you mean when you say what's the average number of kids in the United States per family, you mean which number comes up the most frequently, right? Highest frequency. Are there more? Do families in America more often have 2 kids, or do they more often have 3 kids? Which one is more often? That's what we mean by average in that situation, don't we? We mean which one happens more often. And also, what if I said to you, what's the average shoe size for men? What's the average shoe size? What if a shoe store was trying to figure out what the average shoe size was for men, because they wanted to make sure to order most of that? You see, that also is a mode kind of question, right? You wouldn't say my shoe size is 8.179. There's no such thing as a shoe size 8.1. You either have 8, you could have 8.5, I guess, or 9, but there's nothing in between, right? And so that's mode. You're really saying which one occurs most often. Do most men have what's the most common shoe size for men? Is it 8? Is it 9? Is it 10? What is it? Is it 7? I don't know. That's mode. That's the one that occurs most often, highest frequency. That's one kind of average, and there are real life situations like average shoe size or average number of kids per family, where we really just mean the one that occurs most often. We don't want to add anything and divide. We don't want decimals. We just want most often. All right, let's go down to question B. Feel free to speak up if you have questions. An offensive line of football team is larger than in previous years. The program will list the statistic to show this fact. So they're going to say our average weight for the offensive lineman, the average weight. Now, what kind of average are they going to do? Are they going to say, hey, we'll give the mode. We'll give the one, we have one person that weighs 219 pounds, another weighs 236, another weighs 219. So 219 is the one that occurs the most. So that's our average. No, that would be a terrible kind of average for weight, right? We don't try to see that two people have the exact same weight. That would be crazy. We're not going to do it that way. What would you do with these numbers? You would add them and divide, wouldn't you? In other words, you would do the mean. That's what mean is. Mean is where you add them up and you divide. That's what a mean is, right? You would add, if you had 219, 236, 242, you would add those numbers and divide by 3, right? I mean, we would just do it on our calculator. But that's called a mean when you take 219 plus 2, I'm kind of scribbling here. 219 plus 236. Oops. I'm having some technical issues today. 219 plus 236 plus 242, and then you divide by 3. That's called mean. That's the kind of average you would want to do for weights on a football team. Now, how about part C? Part C is talking about a reporter is doing a story on the falling prices of homes in a large neighborhood. The reporter wants to demonstrate how the prices have fallen for the typical home, not just the most expensive homes. So here's the deal with part C. If you watch the news, when they talk about house prices, they always do the median. The answer to this question is median. You probably figured that because it's the only one left. But why? What is median? It means the number in the middle. So if they do house prices or income levels, if they do house prices or income levels, when you read things on the internet or watch the news, they'll always say the median house price. You listen, you'll hear it. The median house price, the median income level. Now, why? In Fresno. So they'll say the median house price in Fresno County. And they'll give a number. I have no idea what it is. Maybe it's $150,000. So the median house price in Fresno County is $150,000. Why do they do median? Well, because the median is just the number in the middle, meaning there's no adding and dividing. You don't add the numbers and divide. Well, who cares? Why do we care about that? Well, because if you add up the numbers, you see in an area like Fresno County, we have some really lower income houses. We have cheap houses that are really cheap, under $100,000, and we have super expensive houses. There's some areas of Fresno where all the medical doctors live and people like that, right? That have really, really expensive houses that are worth millions of dollars, right? So if I was to add $1 million house and a house that's worth only $100,000, if I was to add them and divide by 2, the average would come out like $500,000. Well, that's not right. Well, do you see the super expensive houses bring up the average to make it kind of crazy? That's not the average house in Fresno County. It's not $500,000. So you see the problem? That's why we use median. That's why the news all the time uses median. You use the median when you have really high values. And same thing for income, right? You say, I'm going to take the average salary in Fresno County. Well, some people make minimum wage. Some people make you know, there's, you know, presidents of universities and medical doctors and surgeons that make over $1 million probably a year. So you don't want to add them. You want to just take the number in the middle. That's what a median is. So a median is most useful for when you have, you use it when there's very large numbers. So when there's very large numbers, it's better. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I thought it wasn't coming. Okay, use the median when there's very large numbers. It does a better job of telling you the middle, the average, than does mean. So when there's very large numbers, let me highlight that over here for you. When there's very large numbers, use the median, like income levels or house prices. That's a better way to go. So there we go. If you want to take a picture of that or whatever, there's the whole problem, questions I can answer on that one.